Hello.
Hello.
I like your shirt.
I stole it from Mason.
You know,
Stole it from my 14-year-old son.
there's something nice about like snagging clothes that don't fit your preteens anymore and being able to wear them.
I think he just thrifted it this weekend and I saw it and I was like, I like that.
Yeah, recently somebody was asking me on one of my videos, like, where did you get your jeans? And like, I was like, do I tell them I got them from my son when he was like 14? I think they were from Old Navy, but like when they
Like
outgrow
boys
stuff,
department.
I'm going to try it on every
Yeah.
time. I'm going to try it on
I
and
think
say
this might
like,
be one of my new favorite
can I
sweatshirts.
can I wear it now?
Yeah.
That's the nice thing. There will come a time where you and Mason will no longer be able to share clothes.
Yeah.
That's coming quick.
We already can't share shoes. We could for a while, not anymore.
Yeah, it happens quick. But it's nice when you start going through the clothes and you're like, score. I like that. Especially because it's like boy clothes and I love boy clothes.
Yeah. Comfy. That's for sure.
So we had a really fun weekend and
Busy.
honestly, like even week, like we are like in our dating season. I think
Yeah.
we are just entering this new dating season.
Yes. I feel like this new dating season is finally we've learned how to incorporate dating each other into real life day-to-day stuff.
Yeah, I think people like put dating on this pedestal that it has to be like
one
going
Friday a
out.
month we're going to get dressed up, and I have to tell a story. I'm not going to drop names, but I'll tell you who later. I have a friend that I was somewhat close with for a while who married and her husband told me a story that they would plan one night a month that they would go on a date and intentionally get extremely intoxicated and make love to each other one night a month and like
Why
planned
does
it,
that sound so
had a
icky?
babysitter. And I asked her, I was like, what if like that one night that you guys planned, like you just weren't in the mood or like, and she was like, no, we make it happen because that's the only
Oh,
time we
that
get
feels
to do it.
forced. That feels forced. I don't like forced dating, forced hookups, scheduled hookups. I don't like that shit.
Right.
But I do know from experience from being married to men that is pretty common in a hetero relationship where you schedule your stuff out. And from the woman's point of view, you cross it off your to-do list because boy, doesn't that feel good that you got that out of the
Well, and I
way.
feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but for me, part of scheduling it out was like getting the oomph to want to actually like suffer through it. That sounds so bad, but
For us, I mean, I love you guys. If it's good, if it's working for you, keep doing your thing, boo boo, because props to you for being for that type of commitment of it's like when you're scheduling like a dentist appointment.
right. Well, and going back
You're
to the
like,
main
I'm not sure
point.
what I'll be doing that day, but I can be available.
Yeah. And going back to the main point, like I could never be in a relationship where it was like the second Friday of every month is our only date night. I get to look forward to that one day of the entire month.
Now, I will say, one of my close friends, B, I'm just going to use her initial B, she and her husband, they don't have kids. So I feel like they're able to have an ongoing, like I'll text her sometimes and she's like, oh, we're at the movies right now. And I'm like, and inside I'm like, oh my God, that's so fucking cute. Like you're at the movies and like, I'm sure that wasn't planned, but you guys were just like, hey, we don't have kids.
Perks of no kids.
There's a movie playing and we want to see it. So we're going to go grab dinner and go to this movie. And there's no, pre-scheduled calendar that goes with it. It's just natural. And I think there's a way to establish that when you do have kids and we have that's what we're saying. We have tapped in to that space where we can have these spontaneous dates. We can turn any occasion into a date and make it special
without going anywhere, without spending very much money.
Mm-hmm.
We're learning how to get very creative. And sometimes for me, that's more special than let's get dressed up and go sit at a restaurant where it's loud and busy and we wait 45 minutes for food. And
Yeah, sometimes I can't deal with that, like the noise and the crowds and all of the
we have walked into restaurants before and turned around and walked out.
Yeah, we're like, no, this isn't our vibe. Now, there is one other piece though. I remember some friends in the past, back when I was in my like mom toddler era, and I had friends who kind of schooled me a little bit on um when you're in that newborn phase, all hands on deck, you're tired, you're exhausted, but making time for date night after the kids go to bed, and you sit down and have a nice dinner and plan it out. But what I noticed about that is usually it's typically driven by the woman. And I obviously I can't speak for everyone, but that to me feels like you could get some burnout too, and then you feel like you're just like you've been chasing kids around all day doing the mom stuff, and maybe your husband's working outside in the garage or the yard or staying busy in some form, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, it's 8 o'clock and I'm completely tired, and but now I have to cook this nice dinner and sit down and have dinner or movie or whatever it might be,
And then clean up from
and
nice
then clean up
dinner,
from
and
it, and like that feels like a chore.
it's never
So
ending.
like let's talk about like what we're finding that works, and what's that happy balance of like how we're both putting in a lot of effort. And I do want to go back and point one other piece. With my first husband, we did the date night thing quite a bit, and I will say I learned this through therapy. I would put pressure on him to um I would pick one date night and it would be the surprise, and then it was on him to pick the next one and it would be the surprise, and the effort was not, like, we weren't matching. The effort
Mm.
wasn't there. Like his idea, and typically this is what I've experienced in my past with dating men, his idea of a date night was food, beer, and sex. And I think that's pretty common when a man thinks like it's a date night. We're closing with, me getting my fulfillment. And so what's it like now that it's a lesbian relationship and we're matching energy, ideas, we're both driven to have that connection on a deeper level. What's it been like?
Well, I think first and foremost, I've learned about myself that the spontaneous dates are always my favorite. That's like
Mhm.
definitely I have to put that out there, is that
Mhm.
like it's the dates that you're like, it's a Thursday afternoon and you get a text that's like, we have plans on Friday. Don't make any plans from this time to this time, and you're like, oh my god, how exciting. But I think we've learned how to, one, get creative
Mhm.
and utilize what we already have, our safe space, our own kitchen, our, like something that we both enjoy that we can easily incorporate in without having to go above and beyond or anywhere. So like for example, what was the night that what was that, Thursday night? Thursday night I think it was, I went to
I think it was actually Tuesday. That was a
it was
Tuesday.
Tuesday night. I went to my son's football game, and you
It
were
was
not
it
able
was like
to
a
join
30-minute
me.
drive and I wasn't off work in time to be able to go. So I
Hmm.
was like, I'm going to stay back. And
And
I
so I get
found
a
I found
text.
myself having some time to myself and I was like, "Oh my god, what do I do with that time?"
So I get a text that's like, I feel like I want to have a date night. And I'm sitting there at a football game, freezing my ass off. And I'm like, cool. I don't know how to like make that happen. So Kirby, being here by themselves, went to all kind, what, four different
So my
stores.
first thought was like it was really cold that day. Well, really cold for the time of year. It probably
It
was.
was
It
cold that
was
night.
like 45, I think. So it was cold. And I knew you were freezing. I knew when you got home, the last thing you wanted to do is just dive into
Like making dinner and
making
worrying
dinner
about
and
the
all of the little
kids.
things, right? So
Yeah.
I was like, um, I kind of want to do a date night, but I was also um aware of I don't want the kids to feel excluded or pushed aside or whatever, and kind of like laid the foundation of like if we get I want to get Chinese. Like I wanted to get Chinese
Yeah.
food. I know you love
So
Chinese
I
food.
respond and I'm like, don't ever let the kids stop you from planning a date night for us. I'll feed the kids. You figure out what you need to do for the date night thing.
So and then I had like maybe an hour
Yeah.
tops to get this show on the road, right? So it was like I ran upstairs, I grabbed an older picnic styled
Quilt.
quilt blanket, throw that on the bed because I was like, we're having date night right in our room, door closed, on the bed. Let's go. So I threw the blanket on there. That was step one. Then I'm like, all right, got to run to a few stores.
So Kirby has this like checklist in their head, is how I imagine it went
Oh yeah, I
down.
was like, I want to get some flowers.
Roses, bath salts with roses in them, a balloon, this cute little heart shaped balloon, the Chinese food, and then probably one of my favorite parts because I feel like it just made it more fun. You went and got little canvases and paint for us to just like
But
paint a
also just
picture
to back up,
together.
like I'm on a budget, right? Like dating sometimes can get expensive. Inflation, everything's very expensive. I had $40. So with the $40, I was like, I'm hitting up the dollar store. I know they're going to come in clutch. Found some paints, not the greatest, but we worked through it. Found some paints, the little mini canvases, bath salts, all of the things, tea light candles. I damn near lit 40
I think I
candles.
counted like 36 candles.
And just started getting everything ready, picked up the Chinese food, laid everything out. And yeah, I did
So I get
the,
this text on my drive home and it's like, come in through the side door, but don't come into the bedroom until I tell you that you can. And I'm like, okay. So I like get my kids all figured out with their dinner. And I'm like sitting on the couch like a little fucking kid waiting for this surprise.
well, and the boys were so thrilled because they got McDonald's. So they benefited from it because they don't get McDonald's all the time. And so like they were stoked because they got McDonald's because they knew we had a date night planned and we were like, hey. And I thought it was adorable because your oldest Mason comes in and he's like, Kirby, what'd you,
They could tell something was
like,
going
what did you
on.
set up? What's the date going to be? So I like quick gave like the whole rundown of everything I got and what I'm doing. And he smiled so big. He was like, Mom is so happy. Mom is so happy right now. And I think, his brother was coming down the stairs and I heard him say like, no, 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 let's go upstairs and hang out. Mom and Kirby are doing a date night. Let's not interrupt them. And they were just like, I think they're learning a lot too as they're starting to venture out and like have somebody from school that they like or whatever and learning to what dating means. They're like learning by example and they're seeing that you can turn anything into a special occasion and like how much joy and happiness that
And
can
how
bring.
$40 and a date inside your own bedroom can make your mom so happy.
Yeah.
It doesn't take anything crazy extravagant. It's, for me, the most important part is like the small detail and thoughtfulness of like, you already had the bath run. You
Oh yeah.
already like
And
everything
in
was
my mind, I was very strategic. I was like, scalding hot water so this
so
bath
that we
will
can
like can
eat.
last as long as it needs to because that water gets so damn hot, lava hot. So I was like, I'm gonna fill it with the hottest water. It was just like steaming galore up in the bathroom and candles lit, everything going.
Music
Yeah,
playing.
good playlist and having everything laid out and it was no rush. We had our dinner and and then I love like soaking in a bathtub after I'm like good and full and just relaxed or whatever. So then we took it in there and chilled and um hung out and then we did our painting and we were like it was no big deal. We were just like the moon was really pretty last week. If anybody had any opportunity at any time to go see the moon every single night, it was just
It's the
like
hunter's moon.
was
It's gorgeous.
amazing. And so we had taken some pictures previous that night and we were sending them back and forth because again, we weren't together. Ember was at the game. So we were like taking pictures of the moon back and forth. And so that kind of rolled into
Let's paint the
let's
moon.
paint the moon. Let's pull up one of our photos and paint the moon. So we did that and watched a funny show. And it just felt really good and wholesome and just connected. And there was no like
And again, spontaneous.
it was no
I didn't
plan.
wake up that morning knowing that that was going to happen.
I didn't either. I just saw like an opportunity where I was like, "Oh my god, I want to do something."
Mhm.
And so it's like really just like weaving it into your day, but then there's like really special opportunities where you can show your teenagers, preteens, younger kids of like that it doesn't take like reservations and this big, orchestrated event that you can have really special occasions all throughout the week. And so we didn't stop there.
No.
It continued
In
throughout
fact,
the
I think
week.
when we did that, we already knew that Friday was a plan because I think I had told you about that maybe Tuesday morning. I had
Yeah.
already started planning Friday afternoon, another date. There was a cute little coffee shop in Kohler that we
Hmm.
had wanted to go to for a long
The
time, the
greenhouse.
greenhouse. So I took
Yeah.
you there on
And that was fun. It was
Friday.
a beautiful weekend. It was like
It
a
was
good start
so
to the
nice
weekend. Yeah,
out.
it was really nice. So that was fun having like brunch and walking around. And for the very first time, I went to the design center for Kohler. And again, how have I lived here for so long and not experienced the design center? Because that was so much fun. If you like going to IKEA and walking around and looking at kitchens, bathrooms, all of that, oh my God, if you're in Wisconsin, Kohler, Wisconsin, go to the design center because that was
You're gonna
magical.
see toilets that are smarter than any car I've ever driven. I was like, "What the fuck is that?"
Well, and we did a whole entire review of all of the bathrooms upstairs. It's like a 8-minute video, and we
Yeah.
are going to post it on YouTube just in case you want to see what that was like because it was a
It
lot of
was
fun.
fun,
I
and
went
it
into
there
so many showers and I was like, I want this shower. I want this
yeah.
shower head. I need this right now in my life. I want a bidet. I will someday soon have a bidet because toilet paper is so 2020. Like, let's move past that when everybody started hoarding toilet paper. Like, get out of here with that. Get a fucking bidet, spray your asshole, like, get it clean. Stop with the dry toilet paper.
I think too for me, doing things that are not overpopulated, like walking around
Hmm.
Kohler, for instance, it's not your typical place that people are like, let's go on a date on a Friday afternoon to
Hmm.
Kohler Design Center. So there were
Hmm.
maybe 10 people that we ran into the entire time. So we got to look in each different room freely and talk to each other and record the silly videos and not feel like shoulder to shoulder weird
Hmm.
vibes or whatever.
Hmm.
That's something I also prefer in a
Ew,
date.
like going on a date for like Valentine's or Sweetest Day or
Okay,
like those Hallmark
my birthday
days.
is Valentine's Day. If you don't know that about me now, you do. And my entire life it has royally sucked because anybody that has ever tried to take me on a date, even back when I was a kid, and my mom would try to take me somewhere for dinner, everybody and their fucking grandma is out for
Hmm.
date night,
Hmm.
and it's awful.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why I have like PTSD of like I don't want to go on a date in a crowded ass reserved room where I'm waiting 10 minutes for a table and it's just not fun for me.
Yeah. We we stumbled into so many things this weekend, even just like randomly going to a flannel festival
Mhm.
for queer community, LGBTQ plus, and we entered a flannel contest.
Yeah.
We did that. Um and like watching live music and like but we did a lot of fun things with the kids too. And so we're like weaving all of this in with like dating each other, dating our
You know
kids.
what I think the biggest lesson I'm learning is that like if you have kids but you still enjoy doing date nights, take it from me to just spend the first part of the day focusing all of your energy on the kids. Like, take them somewhere, even whatever, spend a couple hours because then by the time you get home, you can be like, no, I spent the first half of the day with you. Now it's
Mhm.
my turn. Love you dearly.
Mhm.
But
And there
it's just easy to
and
like,
there's been a learning curve for the kids because in the beginning, it was very much like, "What are you gonna do for me? Cook me every single meal, follow me around, make sure I'm taken care of and good." And now we were like really showing and um kind of leveled up with like, "Hey kids, we love you very much, but we're going to enjoy some time together too, just like when you go." And like I think we even said this to one of them this weekend, like similar to when you go and hang out with your friends and you guys go to the football game or you're out riding bikes all day and you're doing this and we're back home cleaning the house and hanging out. Now it's our turn.
mhm.
Respect that. We want to hang out too. We're best friends too. We want to do some stuff together
Now,
too.
also, I should say, take this for what it is because our kids are a little bit older. So that might not work for everybody, but for
Yeah.
us it does because
Yeah.
they
I
are.
think you just have to get creative. I think you have to understand it's like, okay, what time do the kids go to bed? Is it 7:30? Is it 8 o'clock? And having some consistency so you can say, like, after 7:30, I have, we're gonna sit and play Scrabble and
But again, if
do
you have
this or
younger
that.
kids, yeah, plan the in-house date night. it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was super cute because your 10-year-old wanted to get a
A
new
boo
a
basket.
boo basket for a friend that has at school, that they're kind of in the little
I
friend
like
talk
you phase.
I like you talking phase. And boo baskets are popular, and so we were able to help with that. And what was the funny thing that you said?
So we forgot because he wanted to get her under eye masks, and for whatever reason that was like on his list, and we forgot to get them at the store. And so we got home and he was like, oh, I forgot the masks. And I was like, Maddox, you have lesbians for parents now, we've got you. And he
Yeah,
just
we
kind of
hooked it up.
laughed and he's like, yeah,
We hooked it
cool.
up, and it
Yeah.
was it was fun. We had a really good weekend. We ended the weekend with a big Halloween themed dinner. I really love is establishing traditions. I had this with my older boys when they were younger. These themed out. I used to do a full week of Halloween themed meals, and if you don't know, I look at a lot of recipes for work. So I have a Rolodex of Halloween ideas. And one thing that I always have done is like a meatloaf in the shape of something. And so I brought that back. And even my almost 18-year-old Kyle was like, yeah, I remember when you did the hand, the spooky little cut off arm one year, and, skull and crossbones. And so it was fun because we had all of the kids and my mom, and like girlfriends came over, neighborhood friends came
Yep.
over. It wasn't like this big planned party, but it was just like, hey, our house is open. We
Mm-hmm.
made a lot of food. Come hang out, watch a scary movie in the basement for those that wanted to watch a scary movie, not me because I'm a wimp, but like come hang out. And we had music playing, and just it was nice out, and everybody seemed really good with the evening, and it wasn't this big, huge orchestrated event. It was pretty casual.
Mm-hmm. And with the right mindset, anything can be a date, because even standing in the kitchen cooking with you was fun for me.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it was. And the kids helped
a lot.
a
Yeah.
lot, a lot more than I thought. And, at first, our attitude was like, oh, we don't want the kids to help. We just want to get through this
We
and
joked
clean it.
about putting caution tape on both sides of the
We were like,
kitchen
we
to
just want all kids
keep
out of the
everybody
kitchen,
out.
go play. But then I was like, no, you know what? I'm going to put you to work.
Get
I'm
in
going to
here and
put you to
help.
work. I'm going to put you to work. And you're all going to do this. And like, until you get sick of it and want to run away. And I feel like we've also mastered that, where it's like when kids are bored and they don't know what to do, um, give them a task. And I guarantee either they'll do a really great job and they'll love it, or they'll try to find a way to get out of it. And just either way, it's a win-win.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so, yeah, a lot
Moral
of
of the story: when two old Pinterest moms come together and fall in love, things really just learn how to work at this like
a
new
well-oiled
level
machine.
of
Yeah.
smooth sailing.
Yeah. Yeah. And it feels equal. It's not like, and again, no disrespect to the dads out there, the men, the husbands, all of that. If you're listening, no disrespect, but like how many of you are in the kitchen at all times eating? And I actually had this thought for you. If you're a man and you're listening, and I almost want to make this into a TikTok, is like when your partner, wife, significant other, girlfriend, whatever, mother is cooking in the kitchen all day. Say it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, some type of holiday, everybody's coming over. Feed the woman first. Feed her. Feed her, because she's going to cook and clean all day. And there's going to, at some moment, you're going to hit a breaking point where you've had enough
Mm-hmm.
and you're burnt out and you're like, when am I going to get to shower? I want to put clean clothes on too. Everybody's running around. I've mopped the floor twice. I've done this. I'm doing all of this stuff. And you're past hangry. You're past the hangry. So now you're just irritable. And there's a look that from your wife in the fucking kitchen. And I feel like if you were there with some food to say, I ran out and I got you some Panera and I want you to eat this and just take a minute to yourself.
Go take a
Let me
shower.
finish cleaning up. Let me do this. Like jump in, tap in, help out. Because from my experience growing up with my mom, she did all of this stuff because she was a single mom and didn't have a choice. But like there was a point where she was just like angry. And then you're like, ooh, I better stay away from mom and I better stay out of here. And then she's angry. She's past the hunger point. She doesn't want to eat anymore. And then it's just like you're on edge and you're walking on eggshells. Like, don't let it get to that point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Try to stay 2 steps ahead of it. I think that's really the struggle for men, unfortunately.
Yeah. We saw this video.
It's hard to be 2 steps ahead of a woman, though, because women are always 2 steps ahead of men. And I don't mean that in a mean way. I mean that women just think in a way that is usually 2 steps ahead of every man. At least I've always been that way with the men in my life. So, I mean, best of luck out there because it's probably not easy.
By the time like the guy gets to like the mansplaining part, you're so far past that you just feel sorry for them and you let them explain it and you're kind of listening, but you're like, yeah, fucking numbnuts. Like I've already done that. We're already past that. But like, good looking out.
You know what I think they should offer is like a course for men to teach them how to properly date their wife, but it's run by women.
Mm-hmm. But that's what we're doing right now. We
$1
have
million
8 boys.
idea.
Like that's what we're doing right now.
$1 million
As they're
idea.
starting to want to date and be in that scene, we're showing them how to
Okay, but let me
be
ask
part
you
of
this.
it.
Take it back to the days that you were married to Steve. If you found out Steve signed up for a class from another woman to teach him how to date you, how do you think that would make you feel?
I would want to obviously be like, let me know. I'd want to see what all it entails,
But you're
right?
not
Because I would be
allowed.
like,
But like that.
you're bullshitting me.
But that's the thing, because like if you want him to do it something special for you, like the wives can't come. The man needs to go learn it on his own so that he can come back home and show his wife what he learned.
Yeah, I think.
But now my wheels are turning. Like, how would that make the wife feel?
I mean, I would just be like, yeah, you could use some help in that area. I would be all for it. And I think there's men that wish their wife would learn certain things too. And so like, yeah, it could work both ways. I think I would be like, yeah, you need some help in that area, dude. And I can't be the one
I can't teach you.
I can't teach you. And sorry you didn't get it from your mama. But we had a conversation this morning about God, I feel like we're man bashing right now, but we had a conversation this morning about just like men setting the bar really low.
Yeah. Well, I think
It was based off of this TikTok video that we were watching. We wake up, we have our coffee, we scroll a little bit, and occasionally we stop on
you
a
guys,
video.
This video had like the first 30 comments on it. The video was very viral, so lots and lots of engagement. But the first 30 comments are other women who are like, "Oh my God, this is so sweet, brought tears to my eyes. You're so lucky. What I wouldn't do for a man to talk to me like that. Blah, 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 blah. Made my
We're
heart
looking at
sing."
we're looking at each other and we're like,
I shit you not. It's a video of this woman holding her baby, little baby,
like
and her
7
husband
months
is
old.
off to the side, and they're sitting on the couch, and she's just doing her thing with her baby, recording herself, and her hillbilly ass husband is like watching her TikTok, and he's like, "Oh my God, you're so fucking hot." That was his compliment to her. "You're so fucking hot."
Talk just like that. And he's like,
"You're like one of those bitches I used to look at and think to myself, I wish I had her.
and now I got it.
And now I got it." And
Like,
I was just like,
you got the fucking ribbon, man. You got it.
I was just mind blown at the fact. And she's sitting there, she's like, oh my
She's
God.
taken back. She's taken back, and he's like,
But
like,
get this is how it ends. He's like, "When God made you, he didn't leave anything out except," and then she kind of sits there and she's like, "I don't have a butt." And he's like, "Yeah." And that's like how the whole thing ended, is him like, "Oh, you're fucking perfect except you got no ass."
yeah.
And everybody, all these women are like,
I would give anything to have a man talk to me like that. That's the sweetest thing. Oh my God,
I
you
just looked
guys
at
are
Kirby.
so.
I was like, what is wrong with us women these
We
days?
we read all of these comments and we were like, ew, barfaroni. Because
the only like complimentary word that was used was hot.
and
That's it.
level the fuck up. If all you can say is hot,
You're
like,
so fucking hot. That was the compliment. That was what all of this was based off of.
and we're looking at each other and we're like, all these, all bless your hearts, you're out there struggling, all you women out there struggling. If this is what it, if that's what it is, if that's what you're excited about, so help me fucking God. Like, oh my God, I looked at that and I was like,
Now, don't get
that
me wrong,
bar
like,
is so low.
yeah, and if Kirby were to walk up to me and be like, "Man, you look hot," that I yeah, I'd be like, "Oh, fuck yeah,
But how
cool."
often have I said something like, I say it in other ways.
But that's the thing, is that, like, beautiful, gorgeous, stunning, handsome, attractive, there are so many more,
But like, to even, but
intimate.
even then, to me, it's still all about features. It's so like outer shell, like this, like, motherfuckers, dive deeper, like
Yeah,
pull it out,
yeah.
dive deeper, like really compliment somebody on like the way you're able to take an idea and complete it and organize and do this and do, like,
Or look at the wife.
you know she's doing stuff all day long and all
Exactly.
you
Look
can
at your
say is
wife
hot.
sitting next to you, playing with your baby, being a great mom. You could have looked at her and been like, "Wow, you're such an
You're an
amazing mother.
exceptional
I am
mother.
so lucky that my children get to be raised by this beautiful mother."
But instead, poor, like, cover little baby ears, because poor little
But
girl,
instead, it's
she's
like,
only
"You're the
hearing like,
bitch that's so hot
bitch,
but has no
you're
ass."
so hot.
Ugh. I'm
Like,
gonna fucking throw up. Okay.
I just feel like,
That one gets me so
I'm not
worked
saying
up.
it's all of y'all. I'm not saying it's all y'all, but I will say, like, level the fuck up, because there is a shift where I'm not saying it's a trend for women to switch sides, but women are switching sides because they're either fed up or they've just come to the realization, like, I'm sorry, but a man doesn't do it for me anymore. Of course, a man, y'all should be worried. Of course, a man doesn't do it anymore, because if you can't learn to um accentuate your fucking vocabulary to get past just calling somebody hot, like, bro, let me teach you a course. Let me
Yeah.
teach you a course or two.
Yeah. It honestly makes me feel a little bit sad because,
Yeah, it was
one,
sad. I was sad for the women
yeah,
in the comments.
and it reminds me of a time in my life where, like, I could say that I had that same mentality of, like, attention is attention, cool, and I think you could say the same
Oh
thing,
yeah, such an
where it's
ick. Where
like,
like homeboys, like over here, like, look, showing his homeboys, like, look at my wife, look at how hot she is, you know, blah
but
blah blah,
and that's
and
the
it's
part that's
like,
sad, is that
ew.
women have gotten to the point where, like, that to them is like, I've won. And it's like,
It's a
no, sweetie,
trophy.
you
It's a trophy.
haven't.
They
You
just
haven't
they
won
it's
anything.
their ego. It's their ego, and it's just like so surface. It's so outer shell. What
It
happens?
just makes me want to, like, grab a hold of each little woman and be like, wake up. Just wake up.
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah. It's it gets us fired up for sure, because like, I've always said, when you hear the term, the grass is greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. And the thing is like, I see a drought over on the other side. There is a fucking drought, right? And um again, not trying to like hate on anybody, but especially for me as a non-binary, soft mask lesbian, whatever you want to call me, categorize me as, I will approach everything as a way to make you feel special, to make you feel seen, to make you feel heard, to help you bring your dreams and goals and ambition to life. And our conversations are not all about like, or they're not all based on looks. Like,
Mm-mm.
some of our deepest, most loving compliments are
Nothing about looks.
nothing about
And I think
looks.
that once you fall in love with somebody, you fall in love with, like, much more than just the looks. Attraction is just very, very small sliver of, like,
Yeah, because even when people, like, in the beginning, they're like, oh, everybody wants to know like what your type is, or they'll say like, oh, well, you're trying to date a man because you're dating somebody who looks like a man. And it's like, we've touched on this before. This is nothing new. It's like, no, that's not the case.
well, and truthfully, if you want to get into it, there a type can change, because when I started dating you, you didn't look like a man at all.
Well, and I don't think I mean, I might have like boyish qualities or whatever, but
But
like, I don't
right,
think I
but
look
what
like
I'm
I'm.
saying is, like, the transition of, like, how somebody dresses or what they might look like, that, I mean,
Yeah, I look back at my videos with my long hair and I'm like, y'all, I was wearing the same clothes. Like, the only thing different is my hair is a little bit shorter. I was wearing the same
mhm.
clothes. But Um, I don't know. I think that I don't wanna man bash or anything. It's just like I see videos like that and it's a little bit of an ick for me. And there's so much more. And I really truly feel like I learned a very valuable lesson um when I know this is like taking a big turn, but like when my dad became terminal from cancer, and he had skin cancer, and the cancer was on the outside of his face, and his whole physical appearance changed, or like how quickly disease, cancer, what have you, can totally change a person in a very short span. And the outer shell is so minute compared to like who the person is on the inside. And so for me, like I see past like I love it. I love somebody's style and the way they carry themselves and all of the things. But when somebody says, Kirby, what are you attracted to? I am attracted to energy. I'm attracted to somebody who is driven, who is creative, who is has, high, strong ambition in life and wants to do something great every single day. I don't want to sit next to somebody and they're just like, wow, you're so hot. Like, tell me something more. Like, what the fuck do you see inside of me? Like, what do you pick up on? Like, I don't care if somebody thinks I'm hot or not. I really don't. And I think that we've gotten very comfortable with I don't think we've ever, like, even the times I try to think like what is it, if I had to pick a characteristic feature of that what I'm attracted to, I think I would say eyes, smile, and I know this one is like people come at me, but like ankles, I don't know why. I don't know why. I can't put my finger on it. But if I was looking at something, I was checking something out, I don't think it would be your ass. Like, I honestly like look at your ankles for some reason.
I'm dead.
I don't know why. It's an ankle thing for me. Do you have a good ankle?
Just one though. Not a good set of ankles. You have a good ankle,
Yeah.
singular.
Yeah. Can you do the stanky leg?
I love you.
Can you dance?
Yes.
Can you make me laugh? Can you tell a good joke? Can you make me laugh until I cry? Or do I have to like carry the funny ticket and make you laugh all the time? Because that gets old quick. If you're only the only funny person in the relationship and you're constantly like have to be the clown and like entertain and make everybody else laugh, like, ugh, that's draining. I need
Yeah.
somebody to show up equally, carry that same level of energy and make me laugh.
Do you feel that I show up equally?
Oh my God. Yeah. You're funny as hell.
I feel like I'm only funny when it's just the two of us, though. Like, I'm not a crowd funny person. That's you. You hold the crowd funny title. And then, like, behind closed doors, I'm like goofy funny. What did you tell me the other night? Never stop being your goofy self because I love it or something like that.
But see right there, that's a compliment. Instead of saying you're hot, that's me saying like, you're fucking hot. Like, don't change. Like, be fucking goofy. Be funny. Make me laugh and then cry all in the same,
Which we do often.
Yeah. we laugh cry all the time.
Yeah.
It's good. Hard belly laughs are
they're therapeutic.
They're very therapeutic,
and I feel
life-changing.
like they're almost like a bonding moment of like, I don't know, you can sit and you can make out with somebody, or you can sit and you can laugh hysterically with somebody, and it's like almost the same level of
hit of dopamine.
Yes.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's our take on dating. If you are a man and you want some further advice, DM us. We'll try to help if we can. Otherwise, just keep trying.
Yeah. May the odds be ever in your favor.
Oh my God. All right. 10-4 over and out. Bye.